Good morning and welcome to another segment of our Ikuna Tongan culture session. We'll try and refresh your memory. Last week we were left off with the external interaction between the child and the mother, mostly, and the father. We were left with Olunga Hekariloa. That's where the child was taught of all the four values: to love, to respect, obedience, and serve. Tongans also believe in the internal interaction. When the child is in the mother's womb for 9 months, the mother has to live accordingly to these four values: love, respect, obedience, and serve. And the child will learn that from before birth. Today I'll talk about two of the values. I'll talk about love and respect. As you all know, when the child is on the mother's long pillow or the kaliloa, he's always taught these two great commandments, regardless of what church you belong to. They're taught to love God with all thy might, mind, and strength. And second, love thy neighbor as thyself. And when you talk about Tongan culture, the word cousin does not exist a lot of time. It's always brothers and sisters. And if you see, for Tongan to show love, you see two gatherings that will show love: wedding and funerals. They always try to contribute whatever they can and show their love by showing it. The other value we talk about is respect. Respect and love always go hand in hand. So when the child is taught to love, he's also taught to respect. Respect God, respect parents, father and mother. They also taught to honor the father and the mother that they shall belong on this earth. They also taught to, with the second commandment, to love thy neighbor as thyself. And who is thy neighbor? They are taught that thy neighbor is the parents, the siblings, relatives, and others. And like I said earlier, the word cousin does not really exist in the Tongan culture a lot of times. When these things come together, they always show respect. And showing respect teaches the child, when you eat, you sit down and eat your food. You don't walk around. When you talk, you cannot talk with the food in your mouth. If you walk behind a person's back, you have to say too low, excuse me. The other part of respect is dealing with the siblings. And women are highly respected in the Tongan culture. Like if you ride a bus and if you sit down and a lady comes in later after you, if the seats are all taken, you have to keep up your seat for the lady. That's how the Tongan respect is. Talk about siblings. When I was a kid, when my mother's brother come to my house in the morning, they say if they want something to ask my mother. If they come and my mother is still sleeping in her room, they don't even want to disturb her. They don't even wake her up. That's how the respect was in the Tongan culture. They'll just wait for her to wake up. And if she doesn't wake up for a long time, they can go back to their village, come back and try again the next day. That's how love and respect is in the Tongan way. And like I'm saying, the internal interaction, that's where they always refer to as the whakamohe me ulu. Whakamohe me ulu, laying the child before the mother's head to know what is good of all the four values. I think that's what we can sum up about love and respect. So make sure that you have to show love and show respect, for your mother and your father will be proud of you, because that's what they were teaching you when you were a kid. Thank you. Okay, again, we'll talk about respect and the word fahu. Fahu is the title given to the oldest daughter in every family. like I have two daughters, the fahu will always be my oldest daughter. Not to her brothers, but to the children of her brothers. I have two sons, so whenever they have birthdays or any gathering where any of his child is recognized, then the oldest daughter is always being the fahu. It's the highly respected rank in the family. So when we talk about fahu, the way I taught my kids, I had two daughters. To avoid confusion and conflict in the future, they always taught, my oldest daughter will be the fahu for my youngest son's kids. And the youngest daughter will always be the fahu for the older son's kids. So it all depends on how you take care of your family, but to me, I try to teach it while I'm still around so there will be no confusion. But in the old Tongan ways, it's always the oldest daughter being the fahu to the children of her brothers. Okay? Again, we'll talk about the two different roles right here. The role of the older sister will always be the fahu in the family. But the role of the oldest brother will always be the spokesperson for the family. When the father is not around, the oldest brother will run the family meeting. And he's the one making the final call, final decision. If there's 5 siblings in the family, from the oldest to the youngest, they will always have to speak and talk when the time is permitted by the oldest brother. And if they are not given a chance to speak, they don't have to say a word. They'll just keep it to themselves. But nowadays it's different. Once a family meeting is on, when it's open up, anybody from the oldest to the youngest will just say whatever they want to say. They feel they have the right to say whatever they want to say. But in the Tongan culture, it goes as the way it is, from the oldest to the next, down to the youngest. And that's how the role of an older brother is. And it's not right for you to talahui. I'm sure you already heard about talahui. The younger ones will pay respect to the older ones. Whether the older ones are right or wrong, they just keep quiet. They don't say a word. But nowadays, things have changed. So again, the word "feve tokai aki" is keeping the relationship between one person and another person. Let's say if I have a friend, the "feve tokai aki" is I do good to him, he does good to me. I scratch his back, he scratches my back. If I see him holding a birthday party in his house, even if I'm not invited, I'll have to walk in with something to help him out. That's how "feve tokai aki" is. It's a positive relationship that is kept forever. That comes from respect and love.